Hi, my name's Lofty, and I bounty hunt other players in Star Citizen. So jobs from Klescher are few and far between. They've made prison such an easy ride nowadays that no one bothers to escape anymore. But I'd managed to find one. The poor soul was making their way across the Aberdeen wilderness, presumably towards the aid shelter at Barton Flats. Now, any other bounty hunter would have just simply vaporised this little fella and moved right along. But you know me, I think that we should actually have to, get out and apprehend our targets up close and personal like. So I waited for them to stop, which they did on a ridge of a cliff. So I landed the Razor and made my way over for a little chat. Hello, mate. Have you escaped from prison? Well, I'm about to send you back to prison, Pink. Poor Pink wasn't very happy about going back to prison, but the harsh reality of the situation is that if I didn't take them out, then it would just be someone else. And before I could even say Klescher cares, I heard the familiar sound of another hunter ship roaring its way towards us. Business taken care of, I made a daring escape from the soon-to-be flaming wreckage of the Ursa, running from an angry bounty hunter who just lost out on the AUEC. I dove headfirst into some long grass and did my best Solid Snake impression. As I turned to look back at the carnage, the Ursa exploded and sent one of its tyres straight into my face. I'm sorry, Pink, I was just doing my job. Okay, so I've been a bounty hunter for a long time, and I've never really needed a handler. The jobs come in, I take them down, and I get paid. Pretty simple. But recently, the guild have hired this guy named Kent to keep tabs on me.
You got all the details and you know what to do. Play it smart and come home safe, you hear?
I suppose he's a nice guy, but he just keeps on interrupting.
Bounty's all yours. Get locked and loaded and take him out.
Anyway, we all know the score by now. Log into Grimhex, take the first bounty on the list, and find out that they're right there at the ASOP terminal. I introduce myself and then make my way to the hangar. Pretty standard stuff, but of course apparently the server was probably on fire and the bounty never completed. Also pretty standard stuff these days. I was kicked back to the lobby to think about my life choices and move on to the next target, which also happened to be, surprise surprise, also in the lobby. So I did what I usually do and followed the guy. As always, I wasn't trying to be discreet at all, he just seemed to be completely oblivious to my presence. I like to see what bounties are up to, it's a bit more fun than just taking them out like I did earlier. So I followed him onto the Cutlass. He was still completely unaware, so I just parked myself on his bed while I waited for him to take off. But like I keep saying, if it wasn't me, then it would just be someone else.
Hello there.
So I had to finish the job. But Kent didn't seem too impressed and gaslit me into thinking I wasn't going to get paid.
That was a hell of an effort. If you get back out there once you're on your feet.
Honestly, I don't even know who this guy is or why they hired him.
Well, they're a nasty son of a bitch, huh? I put the bounty back on the wire. Hopefully somebody will back it.
The next target was, unsurprisingly, at the ASOP terminals. He was being cautious, but he still didn't manage to see me slip into the elevator behind him. But when we got to the hangar, I saw that he had a Nomad, a ship that I wouldn't be able to stow away on, so I had to take him down there and then. It's regrettable, but it had to be done.
Sorry, friend.
Kent was back on the line to lie to me about the pay again.
That could have gone better. But hey, we all have off days. That was a hell of an effort. Hope you get back out there once you're on your feet.
After a second round of gaslighting from Kent, the teleporters kicked in and put me straight into the void. Again, nothing really out of the ordinary. I floated around for a bit until I clipped through the wall and into someone else's instance hangar. At this point, I had no idea what was going on and floated over to the landing razor. The poor pilot must have been just as confused as I was, and he drew his gun, so I tried to calm him down.
Please don't shoot. I don't know how I'm here. I'm floating around somehow.
We didn't have to wait too long before that glitched out too, so I logged out and back in again. Next, a few of us were chasing down a Pisces in atmosphere. There was a slim chance I was actually going to get the target, but to my surprise, as the ship exploded from the Talon's lasers, they were seemingly ejected through the front windshield. Following my MO, I hopped out the razor and sprinted over to try and secure the bounty, but as is becoming increasingly more common these days, even after pumping a full magazine into them, I still didn't get paid. Anyway, onwards and upwards, and all things have a silver lining, and I was out with my own Talon, which if you've never tried the Shrike variant, give it a go. 24 missiles is very annoying for people to deal with, and it can also finish the job before my fellow hunters. But Kent of course didn't get the memo, and he tried to gaslight me again.
Man, they really tuned you up. Hey, buck up. It happens to the best of us.
Joke's on him though, because I still got paid. He of course couldn't let this lion call me back up to berate me again. Couldn't even mute him.
They're a nasty son of a bitch, huh? I put the bounty back on the wire. Hopefully somebody will bag him.
Honestly, I want to speak to whoever hired this guy. He just seems really clueless. Okay, so I was back out above Daymar, hunting a target at one of the orbital platforms. I felt like I had to get in there quickly, as there's a lot of angry prospectors that seem to hang around these platforms. So I ditched the razor and went into EVA. I like to use the PA SMG, I like the look of it, and as we know, drip is the most important aspect of Star Citizen. I floated my way over, gun at the ready. But again, after taking the target down, it looks like Kent had the last laugh after all, and the contract failed to complete once again. And just to add insult to injury, another hunter showed up and decided to put me on ice in lieu of the credits that neither of us earned. All in a day's work, I guess. I respawned back at Grim, and again immediately ran into these two wise guys in the lobby, who were both wanted men. Another one of my fellow guildmates had shown up, which was handy, as I'd probably have trouble taking down both of these guys at once. We did our little dance upstairs before they finally ran to the elevator, and both of us hunters piled in alongside. Now, I just want to say that I'm not the most accurate shooter, but I have to apologise for this shit show of a gunfight. I ran away to compose myself and caught a few rounds before coming back to find my target still alive. I took him down, but where the other target and hunter went is anyone's guess. Ken was back again to put the boot in.
Sometimes the bar eats you, huh? Take some time to get your feet back under you. That was a hell of an effort. Hope you get back out there once you're on your feet.
So I was at a PAF hunting some just grade A stealth components basically, and I happened to notice that the back of my ramp to my cutlass is open.
My brother in Christ, what are you doing?
On further inspection, this guy had broken his way in for some reason.
Like, could you just leave my ship, please? Come on, out you go.
He went around stealing fuses, so I gave him an ultimatum.
Like, listen, if you don't leave, I'm gonna go blow up your ship, alright? Have it your way.
Anyway, his shiny new Apollo was parked nearby, so I did my own little break-in. After a couple of mags I was in, and I broke in through the airlock with some well-placed slashes from a knife. You know what happens next.
Welcome to Robert Space Industries. Enjoy the ride. System check.
So I'd been gunned down on my way to hunt a target inside the Onyx facility. I wasn't expecting it, so I just started recording, but I quickly respawned in the clinic and made my way back down. I found them in the research wing, so I did my duty and sent them all to Klescher. I didn't get any crime stat for my trouble, so they were all definitely wanted criminals. But anyway, I was back on target and heading to new Site B of the facility. Now, you may have noticed that I put my gun away here. The game actually just made me drop my gun, which I haven't noticed yet, and at the time I thought it was just some kind of armistice zone in this area. The site had a huge cargo elevator, and the target was somewhere at the bottom, so I made my way down. It was only then that I realised the game had decided to leave me with just a knife and no ammo, so I had no choice but to make the best of a bad situation.
Oh my god. What?
I scoped out the bottom of the site. I had no plan, but I hoped that I could kind of sneak in without being noticed. No such luck though, as a railgun round hits the crate I'm hiding behind and almost takes me out. I heal quickly and get ready to make a break for it, but I think I was just lured into a trap.
Yeah, GG boys, GG, thank you.
Anyway, that's all for this week. Tune in next time to see if Kent appears on my bounty list. I sure hope he does. See you in the next one, and if you feel like supporting the channel, you can head over to my Ko-Fi page, the link's in the description. So yeah, thanks very much and see you next time.